The clock glowed 2:17 a.m., its red digits slicing through the darkness of our bedroom like a warning. I lay awake, the silence heavy with the weight of unspoken questions, my wife's steady breathing beside me a cruel contrast to the storm raging in my chest. Her phone, resting on the nightstand, pulsed with a faint light, a notification then another. Each flicker felt like a dare, a whisper urging me to cross a line I'd never dared to breach. I wasn't the kind of man who snooped. But tonight, something broke inside me, and my hand reached for her phone before my conscience could stop it. For 8 years, Emily and I had built a life together. 2 kids, a mortgage, a rhythm of love and routine that felt unshakable. She was the one who made me laugh when I was drowning in work, the one who held my hand through my father's funeral, the one who kissed our daughter's scraped knees and sang them to sleep. But lately, she'd been a stranger. Distant. Her smiles were tight, her eyes always elsewhere. Her phone a constant companion she guarded like a secret. I told myself it was stress, her new job, the kid's life. But the notifications piling up in the dead of night told a different story. Her phone was warm in my hand, the screen unlocking with the passcode she hadn't changed in years. Our anniversary 0416. My heart pounded as I opened her messages, guilt warring with dread. The name at the top of the thread wasn't one I recognized, Mark. My thumb hovered, then scrolled, and the world I knew began to unravel. Miss you already. Last night was incredible. Can't stop thinking about you. When can we meet again? You make me feel alive, Em. I don't care about the risks. Each message was a blade, cutting deeper into the trust we'd built. My eyes burned as I read further. Months of conversations unfolding, late-night confessions, stolen moments, plans for a weekend I thought she'd spent with her sister. My stomach churned at the intimacy in her words, the way she called him babe, a term she hadn't used for me in years. There were photos, nothing explicit, but enough to twist the knife. Emily in a dress I'd bought her, smiling at a restaurant I'd never been to, her hand resting on his. I glanced at her, still asleep, her face soft and unguarded, oblivious to the wreckage she'd caused. How could she lie here, in our bed, after weaving this secret life? My hands trembled as I set the phone down, exactly as it was, as if I could undo what I'd seen. But the truth was a poison now, spreading through me, tainting every memory of us. The urge to shake her awake, to demand answers, was overwhelming. But what would she say? That it was a mistake? That she loved me still? The thought of her lying to my face again made my skin crawl. Instead, I slipped out of bed, my bare feet cold against the hardwood, and moved silently to the living room. The house felt foreign, the photos on the walls, our wedding, our daughter's first steps, mocking me with their false promises. I sank onto the couch, my mind replaying every moment of the past year. The late nights she claimed were work, the weekends she spent with friends. The way her laughter had faded, replaced by a distracted hum whenever I tried to talk. I'd blamed myself, thinking I wasn't enough, too consumed by my job, too tired for romance. But now I saw it clearly. She hadn't just drifted away. She'd chosen someone else. The hours blurred as I sat there, torn between rage and despair. I thought of our daughters, Lily and Grace, asleep upstairs. They were 6 and 4, too young to understand why their world might shatter. I pictured their wide eyes, their questions, their tears if I told them Mommy had broken our family. Could I protect them from this? Could I protect myself? By 5 a.m., the first light of dawn crept through the blinds, casting gray shadows across the room. I heard Emily stir, her footsteps soft as she padded to the bathroom. My heart raced, but I stayed still, paralyzed by the weight of what I knew. When she emerged, wrapped in her robe, she froze at the sight of me on the couch. Tom? Why are you up? Her voice was casual, but there was a flicker of unease in her eyes. I stared at her, searching for the woman I'd married. Couldn't sleep, I said, my voice flat, betraying nothing. You. She shrugged, avoiding my gaze. Just restless. I'm going to make coffee. Want some? It was so normal, so painfully ordinary, that it almost broke me. I wanted to scream, to throw her phone at her and demand she explain every word, every lie. But I couldn't. Not yet. The truth was mine now, and I needed to decide what to do with it. No, I said, standing. I'm going for a walk. Her brow furrowed, but she didn't argue. Okay. Be careful. Be careful. The irony burned. I grabbed my jacket and left, the door clicking shut behind me. The morning air was sharp, stinging my lungs as I walked aimlessly through our quiet neighborhood. Each step felt heavier, the weight of her betrayal pulling me down. I thought of the life we'd planned, growing old together, watching our girls grow up, building something unbreakable. How had it come to this? I ended up at the park where we used to bring Lily and Grace, their laughter echoing in my memory. I sat on a bench, watching the sunrise paint the sky in hues of pink and gold, colors that felt like a cruel mockery of my pain. My phone buzzed in my pocket, a text from Emily. You okay? You seemed off. I stared at the words, my thumb hovering over the screen. Part of me wanted to type everything. I know about Mark. I know you lied. I know you broke us. But I didn't. Instead, I turned off my phone and let the silence swallow me. The day passed in a haze. I went through the motions, breakfast with the girls, a trip to the grocery store, a forced smile when Emily kissed my cheek. She didn't suspect I knew, and that made it worse. Her ease, her ability to pretend, was a fresh wound every time she spoke. That night, after the girls were in bed, I confronted her. I waited until she was in the kitchen, washing dishes, her back to me. The domesticity of it made my stomach twist. Emily, I said, my voice low, we need to talk. She turned, drying her hands, her expression wary. What's wrong? I held up her phone, which I'd taken from the counter when she wasn't looking. Her face paled, her eyes darting to the device like it was a live grenade. Who's Mark? I asked, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. She froze, her mouth opening then closing. Tom, don't lie to me. I cut in, my voice sharper now. I read the messages. All of them. Her eyes filled with tears, but I didn't soften. How long? I demanded. Tom, please, she whispered, stepping toward me. I backed away, and the hurt in her eyes mirrored my own. But I couldn't care. Not now. How long? I repeated louder. 6 months, she admitted, her voice breaking. It was a mistake. I didn't mean for it to happen. A mistake? I laughed, the sound bitter. You planned weekends with him. You told him you loved him. That's not a mistake, Emily. That's a choice. She sank into a chair, burying her face in her hands. I was lonely, she said, her voice muffled. You were always working, always distracted. I felt invisible. So you found someone else to see you? My voice cracked, betraying the hurt I'd tried to bury. We have kids, Emily. A family. Did that mean nothing? It meant everything, she cried, looking up at me, tears streaming down her face. I love you, Tom. I love our girls. I got lost. I wanted to believe her, to cling to the idea that we could fix this. But the images in my mind, her with him laughing, touching, lying, were too vivid, too raw. Did you sleep with him? I asked, dreading the answer. She hesitated, and that was answer enough. My chest tightened, and I turned away, unable to look at her. I'm sorry, she sobbed. I ended it last week. I swear, I was going to tell you. Last week, I echoed, my voice hollow. After 6 months of lies. You think that makes it better? She reached for me, but I pulled away. Don't, I said. I can't do this right now. I walked out, leaving her crying at the table. The house felt suffocating, her presence a reminder of everything we'd lost. I grabbed my keys and left, driving aimlessly until I ended up at a motel, the neon sign flickering like my fractured heart. The next morning, I returned home to pack a bag. Emily was waiting, her eyes red, her voice pleading. Please, Tom, don't go. We can work through this. For the girls. I looked at her, the woman I'd loved for nearly a decade, and felt nothing but exhaustion. I need time, I said. I don't know if I can forgive you. She nodded, tears falling silently. I kissed Lily and Grace goodbye, promising I'd see them soon, and walked out without another word. The door closed behind me, a finality that echoed in my bones. As I drove away, the weight of her betrayal lingered, but so did a flicker of something else, resolve. I didn't know if I could rebuild what we'd had, or if I even wanted to. But for the first time in months, I felt the stirrings of clarity. Whatever came next, I'd face it on my terms, not hers.